So hey, I I just had like some thoughts. I opened up this journal of mine. Let's see, it's pretty full. At the end, you can see some pages down here where there's nothing on them. But for the most part, it's almost done. Really, what's kind of holding it together is some what's it, tape. That really sticky stuff's supposed to be strong, whatever. I don't know what you call it right now. We all know what it is. Where was I? Uh-oh, I lost my spot. So in here, there was things I started, and I know exactly what this was, and I want to put some photos in there of when we went there. I do have photos to put in there of the three of us, there, playing with Legos and stuff. Like, we have some photos and stuff. And that needs to go in there. And that was, I think, the last thing that we did with him. That was, aside from his meeting at a freaking Sonic place. But it's hard to look through this one. I haven't seen it in a couple of years. It's the first time I'm looking at it since this was, I think, last like 2017. I did anything in here. So I feel like I don't want to go back and add a certain page in here. Like, I mean, I could find like one page, like there was one, but I'm like, no, I have stuff I'm probably going to use, and I'll just put it in there so at least it's in somewhat of a chronological order. I mean, not exactly, but more or less. I like this one right here. Looks like I had this polka dot. Wait. Oh, I painted polka dots. I used a polka dot stencil in a couple places. Looks like I did the gold first because it's covered with the white ones. But I thought the paper, but you can see underneath it actually has the paper itself or something. There's some actual dots there you can see underneath. Like, see it, wait, but whatever. Anyway, I was just doing, using people, it was a very handy tool, like old credit cards and things, for taking the paint and smearing it all the way down and really thin coats, which is always good in something like this, because you don't really want to do thick paint in these. This is pretty decent paper too. Anyhow, to start with, I'm not using cheap paper. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, yeah, there's paint on it, but I mean, it's as heavy as like your more expensive designer papers with this stuff on it. It's solid. It's solid paper. And this collage came out really cool. It did. I'm not trying to be so chatty. This was just me. I've been wanting to do this for years, man, and I feel I've been too shy to just put my stuff out there till everyone else puts their stuff. I thought, I kind of want to share my stuff on YouTube with people that I've been watching for several years now. Because I've never posted anything of my own, I feel like I kind of owe it to people, because people that inspired me on some of this stuff, I will definitely say, because some of these were definitely inspired by certain YouTube artists. Not all of them. Sometimes it's just my own thoughts. It has nothing to do with YouTube at all, or whatever. But yeah, I can remember what was going on at the time, at this point in my life right here, how things were in my life, and it was completely different than it is now. It's changed a couple of times dramatically since I did this. Wow. I love the color though. Something about this background color that I think just really sings with this turquoise here, and then this really pale, like kind of washed out block of color. It's kind of like I'm doing, like color, like what do they call it? Color box. I forget what it is, because stuff I can't think of the artist's name right now. He's just really famous for doing color block paintings. I'll think of it and I'll say it and I'll put that in there. This was partly inspired by by a famous artist even. I said in there that I'm inspired by famous artists. It all just depends. I mean, and sometimes I was just using it as a glue book. I just would, when I first got this, when I had nothing in it, I definitely went around and this thing right here. This obviously was cut out of a magazine, and I glued it on it. And that's all I did. For the longest time, there was nothing on this page but that. And, you know, because then I go over here, and I use where I glued something like that down, but I haven't done anything with it since. That's all I did was just that. You know, just had the, you know, I didn't actually, no, these birds were added on top, so it was collaging this, so that didn't count, but, well, you know, whatever, I don't know, you know. So, yeah, I am just trying to put myself out there. You know, if I actually do, I'm being pretty brave to post this if that's what I end up doing, because I'm like rambling, and I don't know how to edit this thing, so I'm going to have to probably, just going to be, it was what it was, or it is what it is, whatever, it's not been edited, because I just need to throw my stuff out there, man. If I don't do it, then when is a good time? Like, you know, when then? When is a good time? Okay, well, have a great weekend. Today is January 30th, 2021.